I grew up churched and bounced around to a few different churches based on where my friends were, where I was serving in music ministries.
In spite of being raised in the church all my life, I had never been discipled or taught how to read my Bible, but I heard the word taught and exposed in a way that I never had, and it was super attractive to me. I wanted to learn more.
Our church is incredibly word-centered, which means that we are passionate and concerned with what does the Bible say? What has God actually revealed about himself? The Bible, verse by verse, sometimes word by word, just seeing who God is, what he's like, what he has for us.
You don't know how thirsty you are until you have that first sip of water. You don't know how dry it is because all you've ever known is kind of that desert atmosphere in your heart. Everything, it was the most exciting thing, you know, like the book of Matthew is awesome. The book of Ecclesiastes is awesome. Genesis is awesome, like everything. And that's when you realize, like, my faith was becoming concrete because my theology was getting better because I was taking time to study and read the Bible.
Missio Dei is Latin. It means the mission of God. Sadly, what we saw were that people looked at a non-Christian as an interloper, a problem, something to avoid. And so they were just simply trying to avoid the world that God had placed them in. And so my question in my mind was, how do I turn the mindset and the focus of our people outward so that they begin to realize that we don't gather for our own purposes, we gather for the purpose of the gospel so that we can go back to the world and give this gospel.
So being word-centered for us means that we don't just slap a Bible verse on some philosophical idea or some psychological concept. So we're not going to do a 3 or 4 part series on how to live a better life, how to work out your budget, how to not fight in your marriage. We're actually going to work through passages of the Bible where Paul, Peter, Jesus are clear about what your marriage should look like in its specifics. And so we actually spend a full hour each Sunday working through those texts and explaining the implications and the applications for your life.
To follow him, that he's the way, the truth, and life, that has implications in every aspect, from the moment you wake up to the moment you sleep, to how you rest, to how you relax, to how do you have fun. You know, a Lord controls what's his, and to be his, you live under his rule, under his law.
Through the Spirit of God, we now share in a common heritage. We're brothers and sisters, and there's nothing that can stop that.
From there, we're taught the word weekly, and we are encouraged to live our lives in a manner that is bringing constant glory to God through whether it be our marriage, raising our children, doing our work. And we are involved in a community that it feels likewise. So from the teaching to the community aspect, it's really a great environment for us to be living our lives.
I am convinced that people have no idea what would happen in their lives if they would simply submit to the Spirit of God, taking his Spirit-inspired word through a Spirit-empowered preacher and receive that into their heart, and then go home and contemplate, what then must I do in light of what we've just heard.